Good evening. Lando here. Like I said, trying to be a little more consistent, man. My hair's a little messy still from just got off work. Anyway, excuse me for dawdling. Recently, I've been doing some more thinking about just politics in general and the, excuse me, I hope you don't mind if I smoke. Anyway, I've been doing some thinking just in general about politics in this country and the inevitabilities and outcomes. And by no means am I a philosopher or some type of academic. I'm just a man, simple guy, trying to come to conclusions with our modern problems. Some of these problems we have. To me are quite silly, but to some people it seems, given recent interactions that I had, care very much about certain problems. I think because given my background and my obvious complexion, I have some certain reservations about certain things, and I'm trying to grasp an understanding of where it stems from to truly find a workable solution that will not divide people. Because I don't think dividing people at a core level is where we want to go. Okay, I think we want to go the opposite direction. Am I saying multiculturalism is the shit? No, it's not. It doesn't work. Obviously, you can't take someone who fundamentally does not believe in core values you do, and have lived that way for long periods of time, and then expect them not to behave in such a way. This, to me, I think, is obviously a fallacy of the mind. Now, I know I've heard some people in what I like to call, I don't like the alt-right because it just gives off this bad. So we'll say the white identitarian movement, okay? I've heard multiple arguments, oh, well, black people just don't think like us, they're so genetically different. And me being black and white, it confuses me because if this was the truth, I would not be able to function. I'd be somewhat like a liger or a mule, unable to reproduce, unable to figure things out. I'd be conflicted at every inch and hinge in my life because I'm not black nor white, but I am both at the same time. So naturally, I just wouldn't be able to function as a human being if these inherent differences were the truth. Now, elaborating that to people that do not, I hate to sound like an SJW here, but do not have a lived experience of being someone who is both black and white, has trouble understanding the opposite side, which I totally understand because black and white people can seem very different to each other. Obviously, aesthetically, but even more on certain cultural levels, music and etc. There's differences, of course, but I think a lot of those differences are manufactured by the people they were raised by, as well as the society they were raised in, etc., etc. And I'm using myself as an example to figure this out because I'm raised by a black dad and a white mom, and statistically, most black dads run off. Well, my dad's been in my life since I was born, and I'm 23. Dads never went nowhere, so that narrative falls kind of flat, at least to me. I've really heard a lot that black people are incapable of doing so. Again, my life genuinely disproves that. I live it. That's why this is all very confusing to me. The point being why I made this video initially is because I feel that the white identitarian movement is misunderstood in very many ways and wants some fundamental things that I think we all want, but are having a lot of trouble elaborating it without sounding like complete feudalist, for lack of a better word. I mean, and then the other side, they appeal to the feels a lot, and without addressing the problem that the white identitarian has. They always kind of try to dismiss their problem instead of asking what the problem is and seeking to find a solution. I've done this in the past. With people that what they call alt-right. I had interactions. I actually, believe it or not, I was friends with, because of my experiences in the He Will Not Divide Us event, I had made quite a few alt-right friends. And funnily enough, I agree with them on quite a few things, and they agree with me. Some even like me quite a bit. And it really made me realize that this group of people is just more misunderstood and cannot elaborate themselves and are too proud to I don't even know how to quite explain it, but it seems that no matter like what came out of my mouth or how I behaved, I would never be quite a part of the fold because I wasn't fully white. Even though I had similar ideas, we shared similar jokes, and I oftentimes, especially in this "He Will Not Divide Us" things, I helped them out quite a bit. And they treated me well. So it means that these people cannot possibly be as racist as they're painted. I think that they're misguided in their attempts to preserve Western culture and are concerned for their homes and their families, similar to myself. This we also have in common, but they think that black people are incapable of being able to behave this way, which I can understand that general sentiment myself because I oftentimes feel the same way. But given my life background experience and having family members and interacting in the black community, I realize a lot of that is a facade they have to keep around for other black people. This is the real disconnect in this whole discourse here, is that there's not an understanding of how each other works, and nobody wants to identify or address the actual issues of the subject. Okay, because everybody in the situation just wants to protect their family, homes, their home, their life, their everything. They're everything, our life, or as people. We're all one people, whether you're white or black. And that became evident to me in the "He Will Not Divide Us" thing. These alt-righters didn't care if I was black. They cared more about what was coming out of my mouth and my willingness to fight the liberal. And I will. I'll fight any insane ideology to my last breath if I must. But we must, as a people, come together and try to have conversations instead of dismissing the problems. Oh, well, you're just a white identitarian, but why do you feel like this is where I want to talk about. I want to really drive home the point that the difference isn't in skin color, it's in ideology. We have a simple idea, miscommunication. And I think that it could be properly mended if we, as people, were able to open up to solutions that everyone's not going to get their way. And that's just inherent with compromise. So the whole point of the video, sorry for rambling, but it's the basis of my question. My question is, would somebody who identifies themselves as a white identitarian have not a conversation with me? These conversations oftentimes end in yelling and etc. I have no concern for that. I would simply like to understand what you're feeling and why. Can you elaborate to me why you would like an ethno-state? Why you feel other people around you are not capable of behaving on the standards that you believe are conducive to a healthy society? I'd like to understand the different plot points of the alt-right, to not combat you, but to understand you, to accommodate you, because we are all a team. We're all, at least in America, and then to the European brethren, I'm here for you too, whatever you need to talk about. But in America, I would really like to discuss more openly, not argue. I would like to understand you so we can accommodate you, so we can all work together to have a better and healthier society. And that's the bottom line, is we're all stuck on the dirt together. One group's not just going to leave without bloodshed. It's insane to believe otherwise. The best we can do is negotiate, find common ground, and work to something better. And I don't think any political party affiliation or person in general is going to deny the fact or say that we want to live in a shitty place where we're at each other's throats. I don't think anybody wants that. I don't want to live that. You don't want to live that. So let's not live it. Let's have conversations. So to my white identitarians, please sit down. I'm half you. I mean, I'm kind of kin. I speak your dialect. I am more than equipped to keep up and speak in tones that you can understand. And I don't mean that condescending. I mean that as an invitation to have a dialogue with me, because I genuinely want people to be at peace so we can genuinely make leaps into something better. Because humans, we, especially in this country, we need to work together. And with that, I think taking enough of your time. If you like what Lando has to say, just share it around. Talk about it with your friends. Get with Lando. I'm really easy. I'm on Twitter at BaseLando505. Shouts out to your boys at Revenge of the Cis, Royce Mersch, all day, every day. I see y'all out there. I'm with you. Have a conversation with Lando, because I think I can bring something to the table that we all need to talk about in a non-biased way, because I'm both and neither at the same time. We need to get to the brass tacks. So anybody who sees this, anybody that does want to make a significant change in the positive, let me know. And I will lend as much aid as I can. And thank you for your time. Good night, y'all.